toxic forever chemicals known as PFAS that have already invaded our water and food supply now being uncovered in pesticides sprayed on millions of acres of U.S. land. Senior investigative reporter Lisa Fletcher has been reporting on PFAS for years and its ties to cancer and other health issues. And tonight she investigates the new concern and growing calls for the government to act.
4 letters you're probably hearing more than ever before. PFAS. It's the short name for a class of thousands of chemicals linked to several types of cancer and reproductive and developmental issues. They've been found in countless everyday items, outerwear, cosmetics, food packaging, even drinking water. Now, new evidence places PFAS at the center of another environmental investigation, in pesticides, sprayed throughout our communities, threatening even more exposures in our food and water supply.
Pesticides are just some of the most widely used chemicals in the world. This is the first comprehensive review of PFAS and pesticides in the U.S.
Alexis Temkin is a senior toxicologist at the Environmental Working Group and one of the authors of the study.
There's still a lot more that needs to be done. Like, for example, understanding just pesticides might be a way that PFAS get into our water and potential drinking water system.
According to the report, among pesticide ingredients approved in the last decade, nearly a third of them were classified as PFAS chemicals.
This trend of having more pesticide products approved in recent years that meet this definition of PFAS, I find it really surprising because at the same time, we were also learning about how harmful it might be, is something that's kind of hard to reconcile.
The harms are well documented, especially for PFOA, one of the most studied PFAS chemicals, found repeatedly in pesticide products by leading environmental groups.
We've seen with a lot of these legacy PFAS associations with the reduced effectiveness of vaccines in kids. We've seen increases in cholesterol, impacts on pregnancy like hypertension or adverse birth effects like reduced birth weight. So there are really a myriad of health effects from PFAS exposure.
It's why there's new pressure on the EPA to act. This year, the agency set limits on PFAS in drinking water, acknowledging the public health risk of the chemicals. But when it comes to pesticides, there's a blind spot. In the current approval process, manufacturers are not required to disclose all of their ingredients or provide safety data about them.
That leaves a huge window of vulnerability and data gap for the public.
What more does the EPA need to do to really address this problem?
All PFAS pesticides need to have immunotoxicity testing. I mean, that's how pesticides are registered, is through EPA approval, and they really have a responsibility to ensure that the products that are being used are safe for public health.
Temkin's review also recommends that the government expand monitoring programs for PFAS in pesticides to understand the potential impacts to human health. Next step, the research will go to key members of the EPA and Congress, where scientists say they hope their recommendations are embraced. Lisa Fletcher, 7 News.
Lisa, thank you. And the EPA told 7 News it will review the report, has already taken some action, and is committed to addressing the risk of these chemicals. Now, you can scan the QR code on your screen now to see their entire statement, along with all of Lisa's reporting on PFAS chemicals, including her tests on drinking water in the DMV. And you can also find it by going to WJLA.com and tapping the iTeam tab.
Happening right now, strong thunderstorms, severe thunderstorms moving through the area. I got to show you this downpour